Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Gardener. In today's video, I wanted to show you a quick transformation of my Echeveria champagne. Now basically Echeveria champagne is a hybrid between an Echeveria and an Aguaides, but because they are from the same genus, that's the reason why they do not have a cross sign before their ID, because they are from the same genus of Echeveria. Now guys, just because it is an hybrid, it is very delicate. In most probably for a lot of beginners, this succulent can be little difficult to handle because it is an hybrid, especially if you are from a very hot and humid environment. Most probably you might find it very challenging in order to grow this particular variety of succulent. So if you are a beginner, just hold on to it. Do not buy it right away, especially if you are from a very humid environment. Now, as you can see, I have started to water my champagne. I completely forgot to water it. You can see the leaves are closed inwards and it is taking a very long time for the water to pass through the drain hole. You can see the amount of water that I have added, but not even a single drop of water is starting to pass out from the drain hole because the soil is completely bone dry. Now, ideally, if you are from an environment which is very dry, because as I've said this, my city environment is very pleasant. It does not damage a lot of my succulents even if I keep them underwatered excessively. But it may not be the same case for you because you might be from a very different environment. I kind of get away with underwatering, at times even excessively. I tend to get away with that very easily, but it might be very different for you. So be very careful. Do not keep them underwatered excessively. Do a balanced watering and that is going to work out really well. So let me put in some more water and finish up with the watering. I think this is more than enough, and you can see the water has already started to pass through the drain hole, which indicates that we are done with the complete watering. You can also see the concrete is starting to change the color because as and when the concrete comes in contact with moisture, it starts to darken its color, and that is another good indication whether your soil is dry or not. If there is moisture in the pot, the entire concrete pot is going to turn darker in color. Another very good indication to understand whether there is water in the pot or not. So now that we are done with the watering, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it aside and we are going to keep it for 24 hours because you can see the water has already started to pass through the drain hole. We have to wait for 24 hours, 48 hours for the succulent to absorb that water. Ideally, as I said, within 24 to 48 hours, the succulent, even if it's dehydrated, it will start to open up as and when it starts to get in the water. Only if the soil mix is loose and the roots are healthy, the succulent will open up. So this is how the succulent looks after 24 hours. You can see it's a little bit open right now. Not completely because the lower leaves have yet to pull up a little bit of water, but it looks like the upper portion is starting to open up. Doesn't look very compact right now. Again, it's just 24 hours, but you can see there is a good amount of difference from what it looked before it was watered. Now you can see the upper layer of soil is already dry. You can see this. So when I'm touching the concrete, I can feel it's cool because there is moisture beneath, which indicates that the soil is not completely dry. Again, it's just 24 hours, but our upper layer of soil is completely dry, which is a very good sign of the soil mix. So now the succulent will start to open up. Maybe in another 48 hours or 72 hours, it will start looking even more open as and when it starts pulling up the water. As if now it has got hydrated, you can see the leaves are starting to open up, but because it's being placed in direct sunlight, that's why it takes a little bit longer time. If this was kept in indirect bright light, the process would be a little bit faster. Again, I'm not going to be keeping it in indirect bright light because it's not needed. The succulent is very well acclimated to morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours. So, and it was not extremely dehydrated. It was just 1% of the dehydration, which is overcome by watering it. So I don't have to be worried. I don't have to put it in indirect bright light. It is going to get a good amount of direct morning sunlight for 5 to 6 hours. Because again, this is an Echeveria Aguaides. Even though it's called as Echeveria champagne, it does have a parentage of Aguaides. We do not want to keep it in less light or low light, otherwise the plant will have issues. So guys, as you can see, it is pretty simple. Everything at the end of the day matters with the soil mix. You need to have a loose, porous, well-draining soil mix, which is very lean in nutrients. I don't know how long this champagne is with me. Probably it's been more than, let's say 2 years. So in that span of 2 years, I haven't even added a single drop of fertilizer in this pot. So you can see, even without any fertilizers, it's looking absolutely beautiful, very healthy, a beautiful glossy shine on the succulent. It also has those lines, or those chalky lines, what a champagne tends to have. You can see it looks absolutely fantastic without a single drop of fertilizer. So a lot of people tend to dump so much of fertilizers and end up killing the succulent. Probably that could be one of the reason why your succulent is not doing quite well or is starting to die. Guys, that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. And if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep propagating.